Welcome, Ace.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so great to have you on. Do you see what's happening right now?
In what context?
It's going crazy over here, Ace. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Blessed.
Great. I'm
Yeah.
ready to dive right in with you. So, you are a new guest to the Be the Solution podcast, and you are a friend of a guest who's been on many times and is going to be on in a couple weeks, Jay Duran. That is how we met. He connected us together.
Yeah.
So Jay loves you. So I'm excited to talk to you. Because if Jay
Yeah.
says that I need to meet somebody, then I need to meet you.
Definitely. Same on my
So
side.
you were super successful at Rocket Mortgage and originating loans for almost what, a decade?
Yeah, about.
Okay. Just about a decade. And now you have a coaching company. You're the founder of the ACE Academy. You wrote a couple books. We're gonna dive right into that. But tell me, I would like to know why you decided to do this.
Decided to become a consultant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I had throughout my career, um, I mean that's a deep question because I mean it starts off with, sales changed my life, right? It changed my family's life. I came
From a
to
monetary standpoint, do you mean? Or
Yeah, I came to this country with nothing. My parents came here as immigrants, so I was working a lot of jobs growing up and helping out the family growing up. So um, I was kind of forced into sales because I started selling at a young age. From selling fireworks to throwing parties at high school. I think sales is everything. Communication is everything. So sales was my gateway, you know, out of a life of struggle into a life of wealth, I would say now. So because I know what that has done for me and my family, I know the power in sales. So that's one side of it. I know how important it is, and I want to help people reach the levels that I've reached and help people change their lives and teach them how to communicate effectively. And number two, as I was working in sales at like Rocket Mortgage, and then I became a leader and a senior leader, I became known as a person where everybody wanted to be on my team. There was, hundreds of leaders, and people would say, could I be on Alex Charafeddine's team? People knew my team, and we had a strong culture, and people that were on my team ended up marrying each other, and they're still best friends, and they hung out, and like the relationships lasted more than just outside of the workplace. So I became known for a strong culture, and I started teaching culture. And then I became known for helping people that were struggling. There were so many case studies where somebody would be on, their last leg, or like they're on their last month, and they're either about to get fired because production wasn't well, or they're about to do something else because they think sales is not for them. And they would come my way, and after 30, 60 days, I would change their whole career around. And some of those people are the most successful people in the industry right now that thought it wasn't for them. So I knew I had a talent when I could teach a leader how to build a great culture, or teach a salesperson how to reach the next level. I was very good at that. And I said, you know what? I could do this for more people. I could do this for more industries. I believe that sales and leadership is universal, and you could apply it everywhere. And it would make that business successful, whether it's a restaurant, a mortgage business, life insurance, solar, grocery store, sales, customer service, leadership, and culture. It applies everywhere. So I knew I had something there, and that's why I opened up this academy. I wanted to be available to people in person and virtually across the country to give them the secrets and the laws and the keys of leadership, and the secrets, laws, and keys of sales that they could apply to any of their businesses.
no doubt is sales universal. One of the things that you mentioned was that people were calling you and saying they needed help. And in 60 days, you would go and you would help them turn it around. What do you think is the number one thing across the board that is holding most people back from doing what they need to do or living the life of their dreams? And in this case, it was selling mortgages.
I think the number one thing for a lot of people is getting outside of their comfort zone. I think a lot of people stay inside of the box when they work and they don't get out of that box.
So
And
let's unpack that a little bit further.
yeah,
What specifically do you mean by that?
I mean, when you know what you want, you should be willing to do almost anything to get what you want, because that's what true will is. You have to be able to sacrifice, and you have to be able to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be able to do things that you wouldn't do on an ordinary basis. For example, if you told me to go to Walmart right now and stand on a shelf and give a speech for a viral clip, a motivational speech at Walmart, and I had to do this because it was part of my journey to become successful, crazy example, I would probably do it. Do I want to go stand outside of Walmart with a microphone and give a speech? No. Would I do it if that's what I had to do to be successful? Yes. So, I mean, a lot of people, they're not willing to get out of their comfort zones, like the way they talk to people, thinking outside the box, sending a video, leaving a crazy voicemail, sending, unique text messages, building relationships, working on the weekends, working late, working early, trying, a referral blitz, doing different plays. Like, you can't say that you haven't found success unless you've tried everything to find success. And then you could truly look in the mirror and say, I've tried everything. I feel so many times people don't try everything, right? Or not even half of the things, and they give up on something. And I'm a firm believer that I got to throw the kitchen sink at it. And then I could go to sleep and say I gave my all and there's no regrets. And a lot of times they're not at that level yet, but they're giving up a little early.
Most people give up pretty early in the game.
Which it might just mean that, maybe it's not what they really want. Maybe maybe their passion lies somewhere else. Maybe they should be selling something else. Maybe they shouldn't be selling at all.
Possibly. We're all in sales, though. Aren't we always selling ourselves? Or even like the little kid, right? Little kid who wants a cookie.
Yeah.
Mommy, can I have a cookie? No. Daddy, can I have a cookie? No. Mommy, can I have a cookie? No. Daddy, can I have a cookie? Okay. Please, Daddy. Little girl, please, 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 please. He breaks down and gives her the cookie.
Yeah.
She sold him.
Yeah.
Because
they have no awareness of what happens if they keep asking. There is no awareness. There is no pride with kids, right? Because they push that aside. They're only focused on what they want.
That's it. They're only focused on what they want. So maybe if we could have more of a childlike, I don't know.
Yeah. Also, the way you frame things, I'm not passionate about mortgages. If I focused on just selling mortgages, you think I would have did that for 10 years? No. My job was therapy. My job was being a counselor, being a divorce attorney. My job was helping people, it was, and I find joy in building relationships with people. So that's what I focused on. I never said that I'm going to wake up today and sell mortgages. It was, I'm going to wake up today and change people's lives, and that's what I focused on. And that's why I was passionate about it.
Absolutely. Funny. Last night I had a conversation. You brought that up with a client. I said, if I knew that I was going to be a therapist, I would have went back to college and got my master's degree in it. But perhaps because of all the therapy I've given people, I probably have a PhD now.
Yeah. There's no
especially
therapy
today. Since COVID, I think that people generally, a lot of people are, how do I say this? Going off the deep end. Just it's different. It's different. I see it every day. People behave much differently, the majority of people today, than the behavior pre-COVID.
Why is that?
I'm not sure why, but I'm guessing that I don't know. I don't know. They're losing it though.
It's because the
Can't make
world's
decisions.
well, the world's trying to mentally break you down. And when these kind of things happen, you have to look at it as everyone's going to be mentally broken down, but not me. I'm going to find a way to catapult myself. I'm going to find a way to make space in this time. If you look at the biggest billionaires and millionaires out there, they've made the most money during times like this, during recessions, during odd times. During the Great Depression is when people make the biggest gain on their wealth. Why is that? It's because when there's times of people crumbling and uncertainty, that's the time to move forward. Because the majority of people are folding, you need to be the one to move forward and catapult yourself. And that's how I look at it. Every single time there's crazy things going on, it's like, all right, everybody's looking at it like this, but how do I take what's going on and use that as leverage to take a massive step in my life or in my career or in my business? What could I use this information for? How could I catapult myself using this information? For example, let me just give you an example. When COVID first happened, if I was thinking the way I'm thinking today, I would have made a consulting package to transform your company to a virtual company within 24 hours, and I would have made millions of dollars. And I actually prepared that last year because I thought there might be a chance it happens again. And I actually have that package prepared now. I said, if anything ever happens again, I'm going to be the guy every company calls, and I'm going to transform their company virtually within 24 hours. And I'll have all the systems in place. But I didn't think like that 2020. 2020, I said, oh, shoot, I'm consulting. I'm in person. What am I going to do? And I was folding. So even I've grown since COVID in the way I think, you know?
I think, well, I can't talk for other people, but I definitely had. And the things I was going to say was the old saying, it's a very old saying, but when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Exactly. I love that.
And roll up your sleeves, do the work. When COVID happened, I started this podcast, Be the Solution, to talk about how you're the solution for your clients, your company, your family. What are you doing to be the solution in times of, much duress? Nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew what was going to happen. And, it carried on in the podcast of Be the Solution. We are all our own solution. We have the power internally to transform our own lives if we choose to do so. It's a lot of digging deep to figure that out.
Yeah.
A lot of digging deep. So tell me about, you started this company because you wanted to expand your reach and your ability to help other people, assist other people in the transformation of their businesses or careers, and not just in mortgage and in many industries. So sales does, the principles of sales do transcend, pretty much above all categories. So where do you see that people have the biggest struggle today?
In sales?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been originating for the last 60 days. It's been kind of like an exciting project just to prove that, hey, the coach or the consultant could still do this job and get it done right. So I activated my licenses and I've been consulting, and I have, over probably 50, 60 submissions in the last 30 days, And one thing that I've realized is it's chaotic a lot of the times. And I think to be a great salesperson, you have to thrive in the chaos. When I say chaotic, I mean, I have 3 different desktops on this computer I'm on right now. This is my Aces Academy desktop. If I go to another desktop, a whole new computer, it swipes to the right, gives me a whole new computer for mortgages. If I swipe to the right, a whole new computer for personal. So like every single desktop has chaos inside of it. When I mean by chaos, I mean like I might go back to the mortgage desktop and I have 18 messages to respond to. I got emails. This is falling apart. My phone starts ringing. The wife needs this. It's chaotic most of the time. It really is. And it's not easy to deal with chaos. I'm not saying that I deal with it smiling all the time, Heck, I find myself half crazy half the time. I'm wearing a hat that says out of office and I'm sitting in an office. Sometimes salespeople got to be a little nutty. So I think like you got to embrace the chaos. You have to know things are going to be chaotic. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be overwhelmed. As a matter of fact, the biggest days I've had in sales were the most overwhelming days and were the most chaotic days. And that's why at the end of the day, you finish a day and you're like, what the hell happened today? Who did I talk to? Who do I
The
have?
person who gets the most done is the busiest person, period. The person who gets the most done is the busiest person. The busiest person knows how to do the work. I personally thrive in chaos and I suck the rest of the time. So if I'm not, I like action. Got to have action going on.
Yeah.
So when I have action, things are happening, I'm rocking and rolling. And when they get quiet, I get antsy.
Yeah.
So more calls, more on the phone, because it cycles a business too. Business is, it doesn't always, it's not always going to be, 120 miles an hour. It's just not how it works.
Yeah. Especially in your business too.
It's not how it works. So yeah, bring that up. Real estate business. What do you think of real estate people? Tell the truth.
Does my day look like it's not chaotic? I mean, all these things are what just keep adding to my day,
Just another day at the office, Ace. Just another day.
Real estate business? What about the real estate?
Tell me what you think of real estate agents. The truth.
The truth, I feel like if I had the time and the passion, I would open up my own realtor company because I feel like there's a big need for some sharks in the realtor business. I think that people are not assertive enough. They're not organized enough. They're not structured enough. They're not advising enough. I think that there's too many realtors out there that are looking for the perfect white box solution. What is it? I'll go get you it. Here it is. And that's not how you become a top realtor. That's not how you become a top business person. The way you become a top realtor or business person is like, what are your goals? Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? Why is this investment important to you? What other investments would you like to make? What is your budget looking like? What do you have in assets? Are you open to other suggestions? Figuring out the person's life and goals and then advising things that maybe they're not even interested in. But hey, I know you wanted this white box. I'm still looking for that. But I found this red box and I think this is going to be good because you told me A, B, and C. And I think it aligns with A, B, and C. And I think down the road, I could do A, B, and C for you. And now you're connecting a whole new vision for me inside of my vision, which is vision casting. And I don't see anybody doing that. Like I've asked 3 or 4 different realtors in the last 3 or 4 years. I said, look, I want 2 things. I either want a new age spa, okay, which I could have ice baths. I could have float tubs, deprivation tanks, I think they're called. I could have the cryotherapy that blows your body. I could have scream rooms. I could have meditation rooms, yoga. I want a new age spa with all the new age stuff, right? And I want an entertainment lounge with, cigars and liquor. Those are the 2 things that I want to open up as far as businesses are concerned. Before I lose the passion to do it. I might not want to do it in a couple of years. And I've told these realtors that. Nobody has even talked to me about doing this. Like I might get one email, then they disappear. It's too much work for them, maybe. Like they could have made me buy that. And if they didn't find that, they could have had me buy a restaurant. They could have had me buy a vacant building. They could have had me buy an investment. Nobody's tried to talk me into any of that. And no one's even followed up well enough for me for the 2 businesses that I want.
Are you working with a commercial broker or a residential broker?
I mean, I've tried them all. I'm working with a bunch of them. I actually train them inside of my academy. I have hundreds of realtors in my academy that I train, and I have 2 companies that I train for realtors as well. And this is
nobody can find you. Nobody can find you this thing.
It's not that. It's that they'll try for a week or 2. They'll find something I don't like it, and then they kind of fade away. Like nobody's structured. They stay organized. They stay consistent. Like I have yet to see a realtor that'll send me an email every single week with listings, like even the smallest thing. So yeah, that's my feedback in general. I know that's a generalization. I know that there are realtors that do these things, and those are the top realtors, I believe. But I just think there's levels to it, and I feel like the majority of realtors are stuck on level one, and there's only like a small percentage like yourself at level 5 or 6.
So the people that come into your academy, let's walk through that. Let's walk through the academy and what it looks like.
Yeah, so the academy has sales virtual training and has a leadership virtual training. The sales virtual training is universal. So it walks you through from mindset training to introduction to branding to building a relationship to presenting to objections and how to squash objections to closing to referrals to prospecting and follow up to bonus plays and hacks. And there's about 50 hours of content in there, and there's tests in there, and there's scripts in there, and everything's inside of there for $99 a month. Plus you get weekly sales calls with me, with the whole community, and you could ask questions, and I bring on special guests like yourself to speak to the group. And then same thing for leaders, except it's a leadership academy. So it has everything from building relationships with your people to doing contests to a team name to traditions, rituals, how to get production up, how to hire people, how to promote, interview practices. And it has templates, presentations, tests in there. And essentially when you finish it, you have a leadership playbook that you could always go back to because you fill it out as you go. And it helps you build a championship culture. And when you finish a sales course, you have a sales playbook that you could use. And for leaders, there's also a weekly call. So that's essentially what the academy is. It's taking you through a virtual training to become a top salesperson or a top leader. And then it gives you support by showing weekly calls with
So
virtual QA, and they could ask
you host
questions.
the weekly calls and you have guests that come on as well?
Yes.
Awesome. So what do? You do 2 calls a week, one for the sales, one for the leadership?
Correct.
And do you
And then
have an event?
sometimes I'll have extra hour in my schedule, and I'll just pop in and send an email to the whole community and say, hey, I'm here for a virtual office hour. If you want to hop in, hop in. And then I could just talk to people one-on-one. I offer one-on-one coaching too. You got to be part of the academy to get it. I don't really promote it because I try to, help them through the membership. I don't want them to pay extra for one-on-one coaching. So I try to just help them through the weekly calls.
Awesome. And so the 10 Keys of Leadership, your book, you have several books.
Yeah, we have the 10 Keys of Leadership and the 10 Keys of Sales.
That book came from the courses, or you did that separately?
No, it's the 10 Keys of Leadership is my leadership course in the form of a book. And the 10 Keys of Sales, the 10 Keys of Sales is my sales course in the form of a book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Why did you decide to do the book?
Because I couldn't find anything like it. I wanted to have an onboarding book for salespeople and leaders, so I looked for one. I couldn't find one, so I said, you know what, I'm going to make one. And then same thing for the planner. I wanted to find a planner for salespeople that they could use that helps them organize their hot list, helps them keep their goals in front of them, helps them. Where's the camera at? There it is.
You can see it.
Yeah. So I made one that helps them do all these things, helps them celebrate the weekends, helps them with the hot list and follow up, with the execution checklist to call them every single day. So I was actually looking for these products and I couldn't find them. So I made them,
It's awesome. Oh, I have a question, personal question, I guess, sort of. So what did you have to overcome to get where you are today? A lot of people ask the question, how'd you do it? Instead of how did you do it, what did you have to overcome? Because we all have to overcome something to be able to get to the next level.
Had to overcome judgment. putting myself out there. I had social media on a YouTube channel 8 years ago with 0 views, busting out a camera 8 years ago when nobody was busting out cameras all the time. You know what I mean? So it was overcoming judgment, overcoming fear. And then I think instead of overcome, I think there's just a lot of sacrifice. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of waking up at 4 a.m., a lot of emotional times, a lot of going all in, being down to the last $100 in the bank, a lot of that. I think it was a lot of sacrifice, a lot of belief, and a lot of letting go of judgment. Like I said, just saying, this is where I want to be, and I don't give a fuck what's in my way. That's where I'm going. And like, nothing else matters but getting there.
Yeah, judgment, that's a big one. You were in mortgages. You're selling mortgages. Very successful at it.
Selling dreams.
Selling the dream, literally. How did you make the transition, both physically and financially, to the academy?
Good question. So while I was a senior leader in mortgages, I would start getting calls from other people in different industries and other brokerages to help them. So I started helping them on my free time outside of my job. And while that was successful, I said, I have something here. So I started sacrificing my nights, my mornings, and my weekends. And I started building the course, building the books. And it took, a couple of years. And I finally got the sales book done. Then I got the sales course done. And then once all of that was done, I started doing consulting and virtual trainings at night, still working my job. And, I kind of took it up like a, teeter-totter. The more the academy made, the less my job would make. And once the academy surpassed it, that's when, I resigned and I went all in on my business.
How long do you think that took? I'm asking these questions because I want people to know, like, really what the F it takes to do this kind of stuff. And it doesn't happen overnight.
I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like it's a calling. I don't feel like I had a choice. That's one thing that people need to understand. It's not like, oh, do you think I should do this? Like, I didn't ask anybody, do you think I should do this? I woke up and I said, I'm doing this. Like, this is what I have to do. And I think when people have a calling that strong, if you have something inside of you saying like, this is where you belong and this is what you should be doing, then it's the right thing to do. Follow your gut on it. But if it's something that you're kind of dabbling around with and you're throwing it around with people, maybe it's not something that you're actually going to do. So I think the first thing is, like, are you fully committed to it? Is there a calling inside of you saying like, this is what you need to be doing? Because for me, I didn't plan it out and say that that's what I'm going to do. I didn't say I'm going to start using my nights and mornings. I said, man, I'm working. I got to pay the bills. At night, I'm going to just start doing that. I started waking up early. Like, I just started doing things naturally because I knew where I was going, and I knew that that was my only option. But yeah, people need to understand, especially if you're starting your own business or going all in your passion, it's going to take sacrifice. You're going to have to use the time that you have now, which is not much, maybe 3 to 4 hours a day, whether that's waking up at 5 a.m. and using a couple hours in the morning, or that's staying up night and skipping Netflix for a couple of weeks. That's what it's going to take.
Or a couple of years.
Couple of years, take 8 years for me. I mean, I've been doing some form of this for 8 years, and
how long full time, Ace?
Year and a half.
So from a standpoint of you starting to write the courses in the book, what was that before you full time? 3-4 years?
I mean, I promise you, I've been full-time probably for the last 15 years because I've always been doing something that's been keeping me engaged after work.
Coaching other people. Of course.
No, even like after that, like just, like I used to summarize books on YouTube and I had the top 10 takeaways in 10 minutes and I would spend all my time doing that. So I was always like working on something after work and trying to, make something else happen. What was your question? I lost myself.
It's okay. I said, really, how many years was it before the transition was in the academy? Were you in both?
I'd say like 2 years working on it until I went full time.
2 years.
Yeah.
And you're still selling the dream in the mortgage. I'm really interested in this, getting back into the mortgages and doing the work now. Is that because the mortgage industry is all jacked up and it's an experiment of what can be done?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's also because I'm training a company named West Capital from California. They're the top brokerage with Rocket. They've
What
had
are they
over
called?
West Capital Lending.
West.
Yeah. And because I'm doing their trainings and I'm their main trainer, they wanted me to get back into it so I could experience what the loan originator experiences as far as technology and calling lenders and guidelines and processors, because it's been a couple of years for me, so I'm a little outdated. So one reason was I got back into it so I could rebuild and update the trainings. And then number two, it's like to prove it again. Here it is. We're going to do 50 fundings within 60 days. It's not a bad market. It's the hottest market to be alive. People need your help right now, which is nice because there's a lot of consultants and coaches that don't get back in the game. And you know why? It's because there's a little fear maybe of them getting back in the game.
It's interesting. My business coach, who real estate business coach, he has a coaching company now and many offshoots from that. Many offshoots. And he still coaches a certain number of people a week, because that's boots on the ground. That's like what's happening right now.
Yeah.
When you remove yourself 100%, you lose a little bit of that, that day-to-day edge. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying it just happens.
You want to stay relevant. You want to stay relevant.
Yeah, markets shift and they change, and what was relevant last year isn't relevant this year, or what's, especially in my world, like there's a lot of stuff going on that's coming down the pike this summer for a lot of people, myself included, although I don't consider myself part of that, although I am. I'm not really that worried about it, I guess is a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Only because I know that people need our assistance, and my mentality every day is, if somebody doesn't work with my firm or list with us, then I feel like they're going to have a bad experience. If this, especially somebody that was on the market and didn't sell already. So it's our job to make sure that they're going to work with us again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second or third time is a charm for sure for us.
Yeah. I even train mortgage, originators on being the realtor's side chick to become their main chick. That's a training that I run. A lot of times people get discouraged when the realtor has somebody already that they go to. Like, you're a realtor. I'm doing loans. I haven't asked you for any business. I'm licensed in your state because I'd rather just prove value to you over time. Maybe I could be a backup for you. Then I'll prove my value when I get that opportunity. Then maybe I could be your main guy. But I understand that you have somebody that doesn't discourage me. So I tell them all the time, like, when people are like comfortable with somebody, they start lacking, right? And then if you're always showing up as a backup option, like, hey, I'm here. Hey, it's Sunday. I'm here. Hey, it's Friday. I'm here. Hey, any open houses? I'm here. Hey, here's some new programs. I'm here. Hey, do you have any, clients you couldn't help? I'm here. After a certain amount of time, the realtor's like, damn, this person just keeps showing up. Here you go. Let me see what you could do. But nobody goes through that consistent process to get them to that point to say, here you go. So I run a training on how to build that consistency for realtors to show them that you are actually at the top. Papa? I'm in a podcast right now, Pop. I'm in a meeting.
Hi. Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, I'm going to need you to go out for 10 minutes, so I'm done.
How you doing?
He's coming tomorrow.
Why tomorrow?
Hey, I'm in a meeting. Give me 5 minutes and I'll be done. Give me 10 minutes and I'll be done.
No,
Go close my door before I tell him I'm gonna go.
I want to go.
Okay, I'll call him as soon as I'm done. Okay? Close my door. Sorry about that.
What a cutie.
Thank you.
God bless. Beautiful.
Yeah, so doing the consistent habits that make them realize, like, man, maybe this person does deserve a shot. So instead of getting discouraged and saying, oh, they already have somebody. So things like that, you know?
Absolutely. There's usually not very many people who will go the distance for that, though. I'll tell you from experience.
Yeah.
They give up too quickly, or they don't even try at all. It's pretty crazy.
Which is not doing what it takes to be successful.
Not being the solution, Ace, not being the solution.
Yeah, not being the solution.
I think that if somebody wants it bad enough, see, you know, they don't make money, you're uncomfortable. So which heart do you want? The heart of being broke or the heart of doing the work? Your choice. Heck.
Yep. Exactly.
That's really what it comes, it comes down to. But, most people want to make excuses instead of rolling up the sleeves.
Yeah.
What I see anyway. But hopefully with your training, you can show them the way and, they'll buy into it enough and take that bar of belief from you. It'll have them turn that corner.
Yeah, just it'll help you build a solid foundation, and then I'll be there along the way if you have any questions. And yeah, we got a lot of success stories. I mean, a lot of great success stories still happening today.
I love it.
We've been all referral based, by the way. Like, we don't even run advertisements. Everything's just referral.
That's fantastic. Good for you. Congratulations on all that.
Thank you.
I know it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of sacrifice, actually. Yeah. A lot of sacrifice. So before we wrap up, Ace, I got 2 questions for you real quick. Yeah. 1, guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure?
Yours.
Snacks.
What kind?
Everything under the sun.
What do you got right there? What kind of snacks you have right there?
Where?
Right there on your desk. You got any snacks?
Here's a guilty pleasure. They make these things taste so good these days.
What do you got? Grape?
Grape flavor.
Oh,
just
God.
Too accessible.
Blech.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay, now this question, you cannot answer your kids because I know that your kids are the answer you're going to give me because all parents do this. So outside of your kids and watching them grow up and all the great things you're going to do with them, because that's a given, what are you most excited about for your own personal future?
I'm most excited about looking back and saying, look what we've done.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I even got goosebumps right now saying that, because even looking back right now, I could say that. And then in 10 years, it's going to be something completely different and bigger. And just continuing to look back and say, wow, look what we've done.
Look what you've done. Haven't come this far to only go this far.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on today, Be the Solution podcast. I appreciate the opportunity of sharing here with our guests today. So thank you, Ace, so much for the great talk and your great spirit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hopefully we'll have you on the show next.
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
You got it.